What's up, guys, and welcome to a new video. So today's video is going to be a little bit different. A friend of mine, Chase, who has a 2011 GSXR750, just like my bike's a 2015. My bike has 34,000 miles on it, and I always rave about how amazing it is, how relentless it is and reliable. But my friend, he has 50,000 miles more than I do, which is absolutely astonishing. So he actually just bought a brand new GSXR1000 that he's doing a YouTube series on it. I think you guys would really enjoy it. I'm going to send his link to his channel below and in the comments section. Feel free to go check out his channel and follow along on his new series. But before we do that, you need to check out his GSXR750 with 84,000 miles. Take it away, Chase.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Chase One Up, and in today's video I'm gonna give y'all the secret sauce to how to make your bike pretty much last forever. Let's get into it. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick walk around before we start this video, but this is the 2012 Suzuki GSXR750 that currently has over 83,000 miles on it. It's a little bit beat up. It's got some scratches here and there. Dented gas tank, you know. I went down a few times. We got her built back up the way we like it. It's running great, running strong. And I've got some nitron suspension on this thing. That's a must-have, by the way. Good suspension. Alright, so I've had a lot of people asking me here lately, how'd you make your bike last that long? And they're just so surprised how I've been able to put literally 83,784 miles on this bike. And they're like, how did you do it? How did you make it last this long? And quite honestly, I am just as surprised as they are, believe it or not. But after putting that many miles on this bike and riding it for as many years as I've been riding it, I now have the information that I need to share my knowledge with you guys on how y'all can do it yourself. Ooh, love the pops and crackles. I've had it for 9 years exactly. It was about 1.5 years old when I got it. It only had about 4,500 miles on when I got it, so it is a pre-owned bike, but I basically got it before it was really even broke in. We're also doing this on one of my most favorite roads, so I'm gonna have to restrain myself from getting too crazy so I can talk to y'all instead of shredding it up. Alright, so the number one thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is keep up with your maintenance. That is the most important thing when it comes to making a bike last as long as it can. So you definitely want to stick with your oil maintenance schedule that is recommended. Ooh, a lot of gravel. And stay away from gravel. And every time you change out your oil, you're always going to have some sort of metal shavings that come out of your bike, and it sticks to the little pull plug on the magnet tip. So just think about it. If you do not change your oil on time, you've got all those metal shavings piling up to the point where it can't stick to that magnet no more. So now it's floating around inside the engine because you haven't changed your oil. So now you're running a risk of metal shavings getting jammed in places where they don't need to be. Next thing you know, you grind out your gears. You're also going to want to change the spark plugs on time. So don't forget about your spark plugs. I know it's one of those things, it's out of sight, out of mind, but you got to remember to change your spark plugs. That way you've got clean spark and the bike's not struggling to, to stay running, because it's so gunked up. But yeah, I've always just kept up with the cleanliness of it as well. Always cleaning and lubricating your chain, replacing chain and sprockets on time. That way it's not hard on the transmission. I couldn't possibly begin to count how many chains and sprockets I went through, but just know you're going to go through a lot of front sprockets, rear sprockets, chains. You're also going to need to do, let's get through this turn first. I got whacked in the face by a stick. Did y'all see that? Did that pop up on screen? That stick was hanging way out. But anyways, you're going to also need to service your forks as well. Put new fluid in them from time to time. That's a pretty advanced repair, so I would recommend getting a trained professional to deal with that for you. You may even need to change the springs in it at some point. The other thing you're going to do is clean your air filter. So I've got the I got the OEM air filter in here, and typically what I do is I'll take the air filter and I'll take it out and I'll just bang it on the ground a few times to get all the debris out of it, and that cleans it up pretty daggum good. That way the bike's not overheating and it's restricting airflow and making the bike overheat. So that's why you want to have a clean filter. I normally bang out my filters about 3 or 4 times before replacing it with a new one. It's not recommended by Suzuki, but like I said, I've been doing this for 9 years and I've got 84,000 miles on it. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You're done. You're done. Oh my gosh, what video is that? It's a Karen video. Oh man, get in your lane. But also, don't forget to replace your radiator fluid from time to time. I've only changed the radiator fluid in this bike 1 time. I know, go ahead and shame me. I should have probably done it sooner than that, but I've changed my radiator fluid once in the 84,000 miles I got on this bike. Brake fluid. Oh my gosh, y'all are definitely going to shame me for this one. Don't hit that stick in the road. I've only changed my brake fluid 1 time. 1 time out of 84,000 miles. And it was definitely starting to look pretty brown and dingy and gross. So I would not recommend doing that. You need to change it sooner than that. At least 2 or 3 times in that mileage period. But it seemed to work out fine for me. It was alright. Let's see here. Oh yeah, you're going to go through a ridiculous amount of tires as well, front and rear tires. But yeah, literally guys, as long as you keep up with your maintenance on your bike, these things will last forever. Always wash it, always clean it. If you're in an area where they salt the roads in the wintertime, don't let that sit on there for months. Wash it off immediately. Don't let no corrosion happen. Another thing is always keep up with your brake pads. Don't let them get so low where it starts digging into the rotors. Which, by the way, speaking of rotors, I've had to replace several rotors on this bike. Well, I shouldn't say several. I've done 1 in the front and 2 in the rear. Just because of the mileage thing. You know, rotors don't last forever. They last a long time, but not forever. But yeah, at this point, I couldn't ask for any more out of this bike. It's already survived and went through much more than I could have ever imagined it would have been able to. So very impressed, very happy with it. What's up, guys? Those are the things that I did to make this bike last a very, very long time. And I also wanted to give y'all a little bit of history on this bike that I've had to let you know just how strong and durable these Japanese GSXR 750 bikes are. I have literally launched this bike off the mountain before. It was actually this mountain. It was a couple turns back though, and I low-sided on some squiggly lines where they were trying to seal up the cracks in the road, and ended up low-siding. My bike shot off the side of the cliff. Luckily a laurel bush, it got thrown inside of a laurel bush. It snapped in half and got wedged in my sprocket, and it was that's the only thing that stopped it from going down a couple 100 feet down the mountain. Ended up having to get my truck and towing it out myself. But anyways, we've had that. I've looped the bike out before. I've wrecked at the track before. This bike's been down quite a bit, quite a few times, and I've always worked on my own bikes myself and done my own repairs and fixes and maintenances and stuff. So I've learned how to fix these things. I've had to replace the plastics a lot. I've had to replace the mirrors, the bar end mounts, the levers, all kinds of stuff like that. But I will have to say, considering how much I have thrashed and crashed this thing around every butt crack of western North Carolina, man, this thing has been an absolute tank of a beast. I have never had one single engine issue on this bike. The only thing that I've ever replaced on this bike was the stator, which is what charges your battery. Apparently that's a known thing that goes out on 750s that I wasn't aware of. Who knows, it could have had damage to one of my crashes I had before, or it could have just been, you know, it was getting older, it needed to be replaced. And then let's see here, what else? I've also changed my clutch plates, you know, 3 or 4 times out of the 83,000 miles I've got on this bike. That's about it. That's pretty much the only thing. Oh, and I've changed the battery out. That dude needs to get in his lane. What the heck? But yeah, that's literally the only things that I've ever had to replace on this bike that wasn't technically caused by me. It was just due to age. So, like I said, these bikes are tanks, man. It runs great, performs great. And I was also going to mention, considering how many miles is on this bike and how many times it's been down, and with it getting older, I have never felt a performance difference in this bike. I've never felt it get weaker, less power, struggle to keep up or anything like that. This thing has been a super strong, reliable bike that I can constantly rely on, that is going to be there for me. And I've done several track days on it as well, and it holds itself at the track. You know, it's very competitive with the other riders. I mean, it's just been an amazing bike to have. I can't convince you to like something you don't like as far as looks goes, but if you like the way the GSXRs look, the 600, 750, 1000, I would definitely recommend starting out on a 750, even if you are a new rider, just because the 750 has an A and a B mode. A mode is going to be full power, full 750, and then B mode is going to be it's going to reduce the power of the engine almost to like a 600cc. Not quite, but it's pretty close to it. So if you don't feel comfortable riding the 750 at first, you could always keep it in B mode, ride around in 600cc basically mode, until you get used to it, and then you can always, you know, switch it over to A mode and go back to 750. That way you never outgrow the bike. You know, it's always there. That's, you know, you're kind of getting like 2 bikes for the price of one. I would recommend this bike as well because it doesn't set up extra high like some of these other bikes do. I feel like it's got a very comfortable height position, and it's also got a comfortable width position. The seat doesn't feel overly wide or anything like that. I feel like most people would instantly be comfortable on a 750. So yeah, I'm a true believer and a big GSXR fan after putting this many miles on this bike and never had a single issue other than what I've caused to it with the cosmetics and stuff from going down. But yeah, I am super happy with this bike. I honestly can't believe it's lasted this long. So with that being said, I actually like the GSXR lineup so much that I ended up deciding it was time to graduate from Old Faithful, the 750, graduate from a 750 and go over to a 1000R. So I've now officially got the brand hammer new Suzuki GSXR 1000R, and we have already started a build series on that on the YouTube channel. So if y'all want to check that bike out and see the difference between a 750 and a 1000, if you're an experienced rider and you feel like, you know, making that transition yourself, stay along, stay tuned for the build series. Watch this bike transform into a very unique, special, one-of-a-kind street bike, and I will explain to y'all all the benefits to having the modifications on that bike that I'm putting on there. And yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for this video. If you got any questions, put it down in the comment section down below. That's where we can go chit chat, answer some questions, and go from there. I do appreciate all the love and support. Peace, ride safe, until next time.